He's one of the most tenacious defenders of Catholics in the public square, president of the Catholic League, and his newest book, Christianity in the Crosshairs, are at bookstores right now. He's here tonight to weigh in on a controversy that's erupted online involving the Netflix series The Sandman. There's a provocative scene involving a pope and a Vatican cardinal. Please welcome back to the program, Dr. Bill Donohue. Bill, the streaming series on Netflix, The Sandman, is based on Neil Gaiman's comic, and it features a scene that has really caused a lot of alarm. In its second season, which actually began airing back in July, there are characters disguised as the Pope and a Vatican cardinal, and they engage in a provocative embrace and a kiss. The clip has suddenly gone viral just in time for Holy Week. Now, these are not characters in the show. They're actually the Norse trickster Loki and the Shakespearean mischief maker Puck in disguise. Before we get to the timing of all this, what do you make of the narrative framing that these are trickster characters wearing papal vestments to sow chaos inside the Vatican?
Well, they can spin it any way they want. It's all about really just trying to insult Catholics. But, you know, there's a certain banality to this. I mean, quite frankly, it's getting very boring. I mean, what do we have now? A bunch of little homosexual boys and girls sitting around giggling about this? I mean, everyone else has gone way past this. On the other hand, I have to say, they don't choose any other religion to try and play these games with and then try and spin it. We're not really talking about your clerics. We know what's going on. There's a fascination with sex in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry is in general. They keep saying Catholics are hung up on sex. We're not hung up on sex. Those guys are hung up on sex. So this is another kind of really rather stupid way of trying to say we're going to please our audience, which tells me something about the juvenile mentality of the people who watch these shows.
I mean, Bill, if this scene had depicted figures in Islamic dress or the vestments of a rabbi behaving this way, would that scene have survived a network pitch meeting or made the cut to air?
Well, given the hatred of Jews in this country today, it might. But Muslims, no way in the world would they ever put up with that. And, you know, the thing is that we Catholics and Jews, we're insulted all the time, but we don't use violence as a threat, or we don't engage in it either, against people who insult us. But that's not true of other faiths. And the people know that, and they play off of it. But as I say, it's gotten rather boring. I mean, this stuff was kind of jazzy maybe 20 years ago. But even here at the Catholic League, I just look at this, I just kind of roll my eyes. I'm saying, is that all you got?
Yeah. Well, as far as the timing, though, this clip was circulated through Netflix's own promotional channel, apparently, Bill. So Netflix chose to put this imagery in front of their marketing at Easter time, even though the series actually premiered last summer. What does that tell you about the intent?
Well, the fact that they chose Easter time is very clear. I mean, they don't choose Ramadan to go after Muslims. They don't go after Muslims at Christmas time, never mind during Ramadan. They don't go after Jews on the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, and for that matter, throughout most of the year. Now, this is always, I keep saying to people, none of this is by accident. There's no conspiracy here. They know what they're doing, and we know what we're doing. Just people open your eyes. This is a way of insulting Catholics because they don't like our teachings on women and sexuality, and we can go right down the same old tired laundry list. It's a wonder why is everybody joining the Catholic Church these days? Why aren't they running away from it? Why aren't they joining into the mainline Protestant denominations, which have given all these people at Netflix everything they want on sexuality and the like? You know, it's really, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's anger that's driving them. Maybe they see the numbers and people are flocking to Catholicism and not to Satanism and not to radical secularism. I don't know what's inside their head, but their thinking is really bizarre.
The author Neil Gaiman, who built this Sandman show, the comic it's based on, he draws on various mythologies, Norse and Greek and Egyptian, yet it seems the Catholic Church is an available target here. And my question is, given that Neil Gaiman's personal exploits, you know, he was himself charged, allegedly, with sexually abusing a number of women who've come forward. They canceled the show. This is the last season of that show because of his exploits, and yet you get these images coming through to market it.
Well, maybe he's working through his own demons. I don't know. I mean, look, we know what happened with Corey Feldman and everybody else. Amy Berg made a movie about molesting priests, and she had no problem getting distributed. She made a movie about molesters in Hollywood, and nobody would pick it up. I mean, the two-faced hypocrisy of Hollywood, I mean, it's not even a debatable subject. But, yeah, I think a lot of these people, I've certainly looked at a number of ex-Catholics, including ex-Catholic priests, by the way. It was a Jesuit priest who founded Catholics for Choice back in the 1970s. A lot of these people really do have their own demons, and they're kind of working it out. It's kind of an expiation, and they're trying to, it's a reverse kind of projection. But I hope they get the help that they need. But I think a lot of it is driven by the fact that we've got good news going on in the Catholic Church, and so they want to try to hurt us. Yeah, well, they got to do a little better than this.
Yeah. Before we go, you recently wrote an open letter to Senator Cory Booker, and you sent it to every member of the United States Senate. The senator appeared on Fox News' special report with Bret Baier on April 6th, and he accused ICE agents of, quote, dragging Americans out of church. Bill, you had a pointed response, and when a U.S. senator deploys that kind of accusation without evidence, what is the cause?
I was watching that show at home, and I nearly fell off my chair that he's able to get away with this. And so I decided to do the research myself, got in early the next morning. And of course, you can go into a church in the public area in the back. You can't go into the private area. I knew that nobody has been dragged out of church. I just knew that, but it wasn't good enough for me just kind of like intuitively to know it. I needed the facts. So I did the research on this. There's only one place in the United States that argued this, and that was the former Daily Worker, the public arm of the media arm of the Communist Party of the United States. It's now called People's World. And I used to debate these people. And they came out and said, yes, the ICE agents are dragging people out of church. I read the article. They didn't give one example where anyone was dragged out of church. They're talking about people, mowing lawns on a church, or people running across a parking lot, and things of that nature. So they lie about it, but they lie about it with alacrity, and people believe it. Senator Booker is a prominent member of the Democratic Party. He's a presidential aspirant. The man is an absolute liar, and I've called him out on this. If they think that I'm wrong, then show me the evidence. Either that or then shut up. Because what he's doing, he's demonizing ICE agents. He's also undermining his own credibility. And he's trying to frighten Americans into thinking that if you go to church on Sunday, next thing you know, some goon's going to come over there and lasso you. I find it despicable. And as a veteran, too, I also take offense at this nonstop assault on law enforcement. Not just because I'm a Catholic, but also as a veteran. And people like Cory Booker should know better.
One last issue, Bill. You wrote a column recently on pacifism titled, "Is Pacifism Moral?" And you conclude, well, I won't run ahead to that, but the timing of this I found interesting, since Pope Leo has been very vocal of late, calling all nations to lay down their arms. Why is that a problem?
Because of the mismessaging that's taking place. We believe in the just war doctrine. And even the Pope came out on March the 1st and he said that the only way to bring about peace is through negotiation. That's not true. We had wars. We have many wars that bring about peace. Now, negotiation is always preferable to violence. Everybody understands that. But don't tell us that the only way is. And so I look at what St. Augustine said. I look what the Catholic Catechism said. I look at what Pope John Paul II said. I've looked at the church documents, and they all argue that it is necessary at times for national defense and for self-defense to protect yourself. And sometimes you have to go to war. All those people are not wrong. In fact, they're all right. And I mentioned in my piece that I was lectured to with hundreds of other Catholic professors sitting there when some Quaker from Carnegie Mellon University spoke to us and said that we had an immoral religion because he was a pacifist. And if we followed their teachings, we wouldn't have any problems. And I put up my hand and said, I got something to say to you. I said, none of us would be alive in this room today had it not been for the Army back in World War II rejecting everything you've said. We're alive today because men and women picked up arms and defended the country. And that was dead silence in the place. The guy had no rebuke, could say nothing. I don't need to be lectured. When these people are talking about pacifism and they would allow innocent women and children, non-combatants to die, when they could take out the enemy, they are the immoral ones, and they don't believe in peace. I believe in peace. Sometimes you have to fight for it. They believe in surrender. There's a big difference between peace and surrender, and I hate their self-righteousness.
Bill Donohue, never at a loss for words and always bringing the fight. Thank you for being here. Christianity in the Crosshairs by Bill Donohue is available now at bookstores everywhere, online, as well as EWTN's catalog. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much.